So, just in case what we're gonna do, we got the Oscar preview discussion special tonight. Oh, sorry. And this guy's here because we're also taping this tonight. It's gonna be an episode of Movie Show Plus. So we're gonna condense this down and make it into an episode. So once in a while, I may awkwardly address the camera, but so just let me do my TV thing. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming out, man. How about real quick? How about just a hand that we're all out? And together, doing something fun.
See people's lovely faces out there. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What we're gonna do today, I'm gonna go over what we're gonna do, but the whole program, probably an hour, hour and a half, maybe. It depends on the interaction and some other things. But again, I am Tom Santilli of Movie Show Plus, and I'm also the film critic on WXYZ Channel 7. You are? Who are you?
I don't know some days. I'm Greg Russell. I'm also one of the co-hosts of Movie Show Plus, and also the film critic for Live in the D on Local 4. So good to see you all.
Yeah. So what we're going to do today, let's go through this.
What are we going to do, Tom?
First off, we're going to discuss, of course, the Oscars. The 2022 Oscars coming up. We're going to help you build your winning Oscar ballot. We're going to get a little interactive. Everybody, I'm sure, has their phone. We're going to actually vote in the room tonight via live balloting. Yeah, there's a phone, in case if you don't know what a phone is. We're going to actually vote for Best Picture, and at the end of the program, we're going to reveal what this group of people thinks should win Best Picture.
I like that.
All right.
Sending it to Hollywood?
Yes. We'll give a strong recommendation to whoever we can.
Our group picked this. Come on now.
That's right.
But what we want to win or what we think will win?
I would go with what you would vote for. Like if you had a vote let me just start there. Who here has seen all 10 Best Picture nominations?
This year.
Who here has seen? Oh, that's okay. That's totally fine.
I might have seen the most.
Yeah. You've seen the most?
I think 8.
8.
I've seen 9.
9? Okay.
Which one do you need still?
I have not seen Dune.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Seen them all? Okay, there you go. Who here has seen 0 of them? Okay, we got one in the back. Brave, so thank you. That's all right. All right. This is designed to help you get set, find out where to watch these movies, get everybody else excited. If you've seen 10 of them or 0 of them, we're gonna get you kind of going. And of course, we Greg love movies, and that's what we're all here to do is talk about movies. So
Absolutely. Much in force now too.
Yeah, exactly. This gets kind of rushed over a lot, but we're going to also reveal kind of how the Academy voting works and kind of a little bit behind the scenes as to who's voting and why certain things happen the way they do. And then, if you are familiar, who here was at the Oscar Gala in 2020 when we did it last time? Who had an awesome time there?
It was awesome.
Last year?
Who had an awesome time this year? As you can hear, everybody loved it. Yeah, me and Greg, we come together. We work for different stations, but we come together on Movie Show Plus because it's just we love movies, and that's kind of our outlet to kind of do fun stuff locally and bring these kind of events to you in town. This little video, we're going to watch a little quick video. This was played at the 90th Academy Awards. I love this video. It just kind of gets us all in the mindset of loving movies. This year, of course, is the 94th Academy Awards, so this is a few years old.
So amazing. Just looking at some of those clips, most of us have seen them most of our lives.
Yeah.
All of us have quoted a movie in some way, shape, or form. You're leaving grandma's house, you're leaving your cousin's house, I'll be back. And we've all done that before. And just so many other things that make movies just such a big part of our lives, the things we do. We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit too, but I always am I'm an Oscar optimist, where I just love the Oscars because it's a celebration of movies. Of course, people complain. One of the biggest questions I get asked, this is for people out there that have not seen some of these nominations, is where to watch these movies. I remember when I was growing up, every year the Oscars would come out, the nominations would come out, I would vigorously write down every movie that I had not seen as they were being read. Didn't matter if it was costume design or whatever.
Right.
And I would formulate a list, and then I would try to do as best I could to see these movies in the theater over the next month or two. It is now easier than ever with streaming believe it or not. So here's a quick thing, and you can take pictures of this if you want, as far as you know, a guide for you to find these movies. The biggest one that's going to help you out is HBO Max. 5 of the 10 Best Picture nominations are on HBO Max right now. Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Nightmare Alley, West Side Story. And then here is the rest of Coda. You can find on Apple TV Plus. There's 2 on Netflix, Don't Look Up, and The Power of the Dog. And then the hardest 2 to find right now are Licorice Pizza and Belfast.
You can buy Belfast.
What's that?
You can pay for Belfast.
You can pay for Belfast. Yep,
Oh,
there's
okay.
a digital
It's a lot, it's $19.99.
digital purchase and Licorice Pizza too, but these are both still playing in theaters. So there are ways to see all 10 movies at the moment.
It is best on
You know what, the Birmingham 8 is planning, the manager told me they're showing off the nominated pictures at Oscar time.
There you go too. And yeah, sometimes you can find programs where they'll show all 10 in the theater. What a way to watch them, right? If you can get them all in the theater,
Yeah.
it's great. Okay, so some fun facts about the Academy Awards in general before we get into this year. These are up-to-the-date stats. The Academy, as we know it, is actually made up of 9,921 members. That's comparable to Hollywood Foreign Press, which was what, like 82 people last
Yeah.
year?
And going down.
Yeah, going down. Critics' Choice is at like 500 or 600 right now, I think. So the Academy is a massive group of people, which is why things don't always turn out the way that you want them to with nominations. There's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. It's still predominantly male and white, roughly made up of 33% women, 19% racial minorities. Despite those low numbers, that's actually reflecting a tripling in the last 5 or 6 years after their initiatives. So they got a long way to go.
I wish they
Greg will join you.
I'll join.
Get those numbers up. The different branches, so yeah, if people don't know this already, with the Academy, so for example, cinematography, if you're in the cinematography branch of the Academy, you vote for the nominations. Those are what 5 nominations end up coming up as the Academy Award nominations. Then the group as a whole votes for the winner. So by doing that, you're really getting nominated by your peers, and you're winning based on a consensus of the whole group, so not necessarily your peers.
Who nominates the pictures then?
The pictures is the whole group as a whole. Yeah. Yeah, this is the first year. As you guys have noticed, you know, there used to always be 5 Best Picture nominations. Then they changed it to where there was a complicated, thing where it depended how many votes you got of this or that. There might be more than 5, up to 10. So at the last few years, it's been between 5 and 10 nominations. This year is the first year that they've instilled. There are going to be 10 Best Picture nominations moving forward. What's that? Oh, yeah. And then you might have heard, again, it's the 94th Academy Awards. It'll be hosted by Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes. Greg, what do you think of the hosts?
I think they're pretty good. I mean, they're all very funny, and of course, like you said, diverse crowd. That's what people are trying to do now. You know, make things up a little bit differently. Also, all female.
Yeah.
So that'll make it interesting as well. And it also mix it up too, because instead of just having maybe the one host, might just be stuck on one type of shtick. You've got 3 people
Mix
who
it
are
up.
completely different.
Yeah, sure. I was hoping for Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. Personally.
Or bring Billy Crystal out again.
Yeah, or like the All Stars.
Yeah.
How about Ricky Gervais?
What's that?
Ricky Gervais.
Oh, yeah. Oh, why does he love Ricky?
Oh, they would be scared of that.
What's he going to say
The
now?
ratings would go like this.
Oh, and now.
Billy Crystal.
Every year.
Billy Crystal? Yeah, really quick. Everybody shout out at the same time their favorite host of all time.
Billy
Crystal.
Billy
Billy Crystal seemed to be more. Oh, yeah.
David Letterman.
Johnny
David
Carson.
Letterman. Okay.
So how many do remember actually Bob Hope out there as the host? Okay, good. There,
The old
Felix.
people.
Good.
No, but
And that was even like when they have the awards show on Monday. It wasn't on Sunday, it was on a Monday night. Yeah. We're kind of ticked because they preempted Carol Burnett. But,
Greg, can you talk a little louder?
oh, certainly. That's the first time I've heard that in a long time. When you talk a little louder, normally say, can you shut up? But, yeah, like we said, when Bob Hope was doing it, that's when they would even have the Academy Awards during the week, not on a Sunday. So it'd be like on a Monday night. and you sneak up, stay up, try to stay up past
Right.
10 o'clock,
Right.
without your mom going, "What's that light in your room?" Me studying by candlelight, Mom. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
But
Candle.
Okay.
those are there's kind of like this with the cat wax.
Oh, really? Okay, that's
Yeah.
interesting. That's what my 5-year-old son asked me the other day. He's like, "You were invented before iPads?" Yeah. He's like, and he thought about it. He's like, "Well, what did you use for iPad then when you were a kid?"
Would you sell them a notebook?
Yeah, notepad, pen, paper.
Papers.
All right, so the most nominated film ever received 14 nominations. 3 films received 14 nominations. Does anybody know
Titanic?
what these movies are?
Titanic? Ben-Hur.
Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, yeah, all about Eve.
Wow.
That's right.
There you go. All About Eve, Titanic, and La La Land received the most noms ever, 14. The most wins of all time, we have 11. Also 3 movies.
Ben-Hur.
West Side Story, Ben-Hur,
Titanic.
Titanic. Ben-Hur, Titanic, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. All have won 11. That is the record. These are just some staggering records that I always like to talk about. Walt Disney himself, he holds the record for an individual with 59 total noms, 22 wins. That's impressive, but he had his hands across the board in a lot of different things. When you think of John Williams,
Yeah, John.
he's in one lane and he has 52 nominations.
Well, he had a whole corporation
Yeah.
working for him.
And yeah, 5 wins for him, so that's just staggering. This is a pretty talked about one. Most people know. Who's the most nominated actor? Meryl Streep.
Oh, Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep has 21 nominations, 3 wins. Not talked about that often is the best. Does anybody know who is the most nominated best actor?
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
Anybody other guesses?
Pacino?
You got it. 12 noms, 3 wins.
You can't answer that, Michael.
Wow. You're muted. You
He knows
have too many of them.
Is it 25%?
And now we move into this year specifically. Here's just some fun facts about the 2022. The most overall nominations is The Power of the Dog with 12.
I don't understand it.
Steven
Nominate
Spielberg,
things I don't understand.
who is nominated for Best Director for West Side Story, he becomes the first person to be nominated in 6 different decades. That's pretty impressive.
That's good.
He's the Gordie Howe.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good.
Really?
Weird.
No Best Actress nominee this year is from a Best Picture nominated film. That's the first time that happened since
That's
2006.
impossible. There's 10 films.
Right?
Yeah. Goes to show what they're
Seriously
thinking
wrong
about.
with it.
This is also the first time since 1981. That's 41
Wow.
years.
Huh.
That this is no first-time nominees in the Best Actor category. Wow. And this is a fun fact. Judi Dench, with her 8th nomination for Belfast, now is the most nominated non-American actress of all time, and she is 4th all-time, behind Streep, Katharine Hepburn, and Bette Davis.
Right.
Wow, I was way off with that.
Some more stuff. Let's go through this. This one is just sad to me, guys. Diane Warren, the fabulous songwriter. She is she got her 13th nomination this year for a song from 4 Good Days. Remember that?
Right.
Yeah, that movie. She is the most nominated songwriter never to win. This is her 5th consecutive nomination, 7 out of the last 8 years. Look up Diane Warren and what she's been nominated for since the 80s, and it's staggering that the songs that she is responsible for. And they just keep bringing her to the party and keep sending her home without
Because
And ironically, guess who I'm talking to tomorrow afternoon?
Diane Warren.
Diane Warren.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's fabulous. So look for that on the show. We'll have Diane
Yep.
Warren on the show soon.
Yeah, so we
we
talked to her.
should get an honorary.
Oh, she should. They'll do the usual, push her out, when she doesn't know. It's like,
Give her a
You're
hug
right.
through the Zoom, can you?
I will.
I feel bad for her.
I
Would
will.
she be a victim of the only 33% women and 800,000 men?
Possible.
Well,
And she's got obviously great songs. I mean,
Oh,
geez.
Yeah, some of her
Geez.
songs are iconic. It's unbelievable.
Right. She eventually won.
Susan Lucci was 19 times.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She eventually won. So.
Yeah. It'll happen for Diane Warren.
What about Glenn Close?
Glenn Close, I don't know how. Does anybody know how many noms she has?
8.
8 noms.
Something like that?
I
Okay.
look right over there because I know he knows
Yeah,
everything
just
about
ask Mike.
And zero.
it. And zero wins.
And that's kind of hard to believe too.
And one of them, and she should have won for one of them, and she got robbed.
I cried when she didn't win for the wife.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was, she was, wow.
She was
robbed.
Oh, my
Big
God.
chip. I mean, geez.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
But she was close.
She was close.
She was winning.
Fun fact about adapted screenplay: it's the first time since '92 that 3 or more of the noms are female.
All right.
Stripes.
Okay,
Ari
good luck,
Wagner was a cinematographer for Power of the Dog. She's the second woman ever nominated in this category. Rachel Morrison was the first for Mudbound. And then this is an interesting deep dive fact. Cinematography and production design categories. This is the first year since 1968 that all 5 nominations are the same in both of these categories. It's the first time since they combined black and white and color into the same category. So that I thought was kind of interesting.
There were a lot of black and white films this year.
Yeah.
We should go back.
Okay, Greg, as we know, there's some sure things in life. What are a couple of them? What do you think, Chris?
Taxes, death, and trouble.
Yeah, that's it.
Taxes.
Well, that's trouble. I took Marvin Gaye's line.
There you go. So we're going to talk real quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
You have a question, maybe someone can help. There was one year where Meryl Streep and Glenn Close were up for an Oscar Best Actress. Meryl Streep won, and they did a close-up on Glenn Close, and this look of disappointment on her face. I think she played like a butler, a male butler.
Oh, yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
it was a-
Albert
Albert
Nobbs.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
So, have you ever encountered that where actors seem gracious, but the look of disappointment on her face was phenomenal, and I'm surprised they even put that on
Yeah,
camera.
usually they don't show.
We were just talking about that a little bit earlier, about when Eddie Murphy was nominated for Dreamgirls. And the reality is he did do a great job in that movie. He should have won. But somehow or another, it's kind of weird. If you tweak the nose of some people in Hollywood, it's like, you did great, but you know what? We're going to give it to this person because we're just mad at you. And so you already knew that Eddie was going to win because he and his date were sitting in the front row. They don't put you in the front row, if you're not going to win. So next thing you know, they get to that category, and they called out, who did we say it was? The grandfather.
Alan Arkin.
That's it. Thank you so much.
From,
Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you remember the look on his face, it was like,
Oh, there's been a mistake here.
what? And he went up to the stage, and he was wearing a tuxedo top and shirt and blue jeans. He showed up just because he got a free ticket. He didn't think he was going to get up and win.
Yeah.
Right.
They went to the commercial, came back, Eddie was gone. It was like, the heck with this. Let's get out.
Yeah, it seems like you have to put in your dues with the Oscars, right? You gotta do a couple good performances just to get a nomination, and then it's kind of like, hey, welcome to the club, kid.
Mhm.
And then you got to put in a couple more before they finally reward you. Or if you're like Glenn Close, you just say like, dude, what do I got to do?
Yeah, really, don't put me in memoriam.
Yeah.
I heard he got punished for doing Norbit, that film.
Oh.
That came out the same year.
That makes sense then.
Could have been, but it's kind of like, well, if that's the case, there are a lot of folks who shouldn't. I did this, but yeah, you also did this crappy thing.
Yeah. Well, you saw the Razzies this year nominated the worst performance of the year. They gave all 8 nominations to Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow.
All 8 movies that he was in this year.
It's kind of like, I take the checks, right, Bruce?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about this real quick first, and we won't belabor the point, but the big controversy, this is kind of something that comes up every year as they scramble to change the show, try to shorten the show, make, different new things with the show. People ask, who are they making the show for? Should the format be changed? Okay, look, I know that the report just came out too that ABC was like putting pressure on the Oscars, so I know that there's a lot of politics with the network and all these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been the type of person though that I used to be on Critically Speaking on Fox back in the day.
Oh, right.
And that other show in town. But I would always debate this with Adam Graham and Lee about how I would watch the Oscars if it was 5 hours long.
Mhm.
It's one time a year. It's it's the biggest night in Hollywood. I'm not one that's tuning in or tuning out because it's too long. I want the in memoriam segment to be as long as it needs to be to honor everybody that passed away that year.
Right.
I want, as a kid, I used to watch the Academy Awards, and it actually taught me about how movies were made.
Right.
I would see a cinematographer, wow, there's a guy that does that, or there's a guy that just does editing, or there's a person that just handles the costumes. Like, it actually kind of taught me how films were made, and I really loved watching that. And I would see like the big time stars win the acting awards.
Right.
But I would always picture me as
Oh, yeah.
the editor, the cinematographer guy, and be like, that's where I saw myself, like, oh man, on stage and having that Oscar dream. So I hate these ideas about what they're doing right now. But tell the people your thoughts on this, and then we'll kind of open it up to people.
And I'm the same way. Like you said, you worked on the film, you got nominated for this great thing. Not to sound funny, even if you are the second assistant editor, but you're nominated, if you win, you want your mom to see it
Yeah.
on TV.
Yeah.
You want to go up and thank your wife and your children and everybody else. You deserve the same accolades, because guess what? Your Oscar is the same size as the person who wins Best Actor. It's not like you're getting the short one or the plastic one. No, they're all the same. And yeah, you do. You deserve your accolades. I mean,
Yeah.
so no, I agree with you. And just like with what you said, by us growing up the way we did and loving movies the way we did, I'll just use this as an example. I'm one of the biggest Beatle fans in the world. I think a lot of you, all right, hell yeah, all right. But when their, Get Back came out, around Christmas,
Yeah.
and so it was 3 different segments of it. But if you would watch the whole thing, it would have been like 8 hours long.
Right.
And so I told my wife, I said, I don't think this is actually going to show in the theater. I can't imagine who would see, for 8 hours. She looked at me and said, you would have. And I said, okay, yeah, you're right.
That's right.
You're right. So yeah, same thing with the Academy Awards. I'll watch everything, including Best Floor Sweeper tonight at the Academy Awards. George in the back, Wendell over there. Who wins?
Yeah. Absolutely. And to bring up the short categories again, they now play them, as you know, in theaters. You can watch the programs. But for years in my lifetime, there was a gap where at least I couldn't find them if they were playing locally. So every year the short films were just like, we couldn't get them.
Right.
The very first year that my wife was able to watch the short films, that was her most heated moment of the whole Oscar telecast. It's like her short film didn't win, and she's like, usually like this is reserved for if your guy isn't, doesn't win the Best Actor award. She's like, I can't believe I didn't win Best Documentary Short. Like, she was so upset by it. But you get passionate about this stuff if you see it and if you know about it. And that's the thing is, if you can watch the movies, and there are some great movies this year, I think that you're now invested into the Oscars. If you haven't seen any of them and can't see any of them, yeah, you're going to watch it and be like, what's this all about, and fast forward it. I remember when I hadn't watched Breaking Bad, and the guy kept winning, all the Emmys and stuff, and I'd be like, oh, who's this guy? I wanted the guy on The Shield to win. But then once I saw Breaking Bad, I'm like, okay, now I get it. Right. You understand once you watch it.
Yeah, I just had a question. I saw, I believe it was on the news where they said that some segments of the Academy Awards are going to be pre-taped.
Yeah.
And what do you say to that? Because I was really surprised.
That's a great segue.
Oh my God. She says it there. You bring it up here. You are the man behind the curtain.
I know, right?
We're thinking alike.
Yeah, absolutely. No, so in case people aren't clear of this, it got out first, and it was kind of misrepresented, and then the further they clarified it, the even less sense it made. But what they're doing is they've earmarked 8 categories that are going to be given out beforehand, while many of the main stars are on the red carpet still, and the room is kind of even empty, possibly. They're going to give away 8 awards. They're claiming that they're doing this to save time and to make the telecast move along. They don't plan on... Basically, they're going to take these 8 winners, and they're still going to get their moment in the telecast, but they're going to be kind of put on like a pre-roll, like a pre-taped. But they're going to cut out like the walk to the stage, because that's the part where everybody's tuning out, right? Is if the guy walks to the stage and it takes longer than 3 seconds, I'm flipping over to something else. But they're taking the 8 categories, they're putting them in the broadcast, and these people are not going to be given their live moment. in the age of social media, what's going to happen is people in the room are going to be tweeting out who won these awards anyway.
Yep.
And if you follow any kind of entertainment media, most people are interested in who's going to win Best Picture.
Right.
And there's all these precursors, like, well, whoever wins Best Editing usually goes on to do this or to do that.
Right.
So what it's going to do is, all of this information is going to come out early. Before the show even starts, if you're on Twitter or on social media, you're going to have heard who won all these categories. And they're going to be framing it in a way like, Power of the Dog won this award, cinematography, so therefore Power of the Dog now is front runner, and it takes away from the cinematographer's moment, who could have had that moment on just her, not the picture itself. So I think it's a terrible idea. People now, even today, Steven Spielberg came out against it. Almost every major director. There's a guy that resigned from the Academy over this. It's an absolute.
I think
it's disrespectful.
It's about the same that you were saying before. It's these people. It's their moment.
Yes.
They're not in the movie. You don't see it in the movie.
Right.
They're behind the scenes. That's their moment. And you do have to listen to. I think it was Trevor Noah. One of them's editing. He says, You can bet those editors for the Academy Awards say, put me in the middle. We'll fix that.
Exactly.
There you go.
So yeah.
There's something else that they've taken away. They had an award for Irving Thalberg. It's Thalberg, not Thalberg, and he was a relative. So I always want to know who won it, and that was the Humanitarian Award, and then there was another award that they added. I think it was Hirschholt, but I don't remember for sure. And they do not announce those. They do not put them there. You don't get to hear the speeches. And, it's like social justice and caring about people, and they skip that part.
Yeah. It's to me, it's a travesty, and again, the reasoning behind it is simply for ratings. They're trying to make the show get the ratings that it did 40 years ago. When nobody had anything other than a television set and 3 channels.
That's it.
Hello, question?
I think,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
we'll go to her, then we'll come right over to you, sir.
Years ago, when they first started taking some of that off of, they put them in a separate event.
Yeah, they did like the engineering awards or something. Yeah,
And
technically.
the
Science and
doing the greatest invention. I remember when they brought that camera in that didn't juggle like that, they could walk around. And they actually showed it at the award ceremony, not at their own award ceremony. But they managed to film that, and then they'd show a piece of it. But what I don't understand is no matter how much they take out, it's always as long or longer.
Oh, yeah.
So what are they putting in?
Yes.
And when I was
a great point.
kid, they were able to put all of that in.
That's a great point, because
And
that's what they're
I
doing.
watched the whole thing.
If the goal was to shorten the show,
They're not.
then at least take it out, and then if they didn't add anything in its place.
Yeah.
But as we'll get to in a minute, they've added in this year the fan favorite award
See that?
and the best cheer moment in movie history, and all these things that are geared towards
Younger.
This is what's funny, right? So
Yeah.
those categories are geared towards younger audiences. They're wanting to bring in younger people who aren't going to watch it anyway.
It's not going to work.
Then they go out, though, and nothing against her, but they go out and get 3 hosts that are not skewing young. These are not hosts that are going to bring in the children to watch this thing.
Well, I
So,
think they should probably, the only award ceremony that actually kind of makes it is the Tonys. Because these are stage people. They know how to put together a performance that is a certain amount of time, and they just do it wrong. I mean, I don't understand why they can't get back to what it was.
yeah,
Or do they not pay attention either to who watches this?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to throw in another Survivor plug here.
Okay.
But when Survivor Season 1 came out, 50 million
watched
people
that.
watched the finale.
Yeah.
50 million people. That's a lot of people. It's going into its 42nd season right now, and it averages about 8 million people per season, which is obviously a huge drop off. But the show caters to that core 8 million people that never left it.
Right,
And they don't care about bringing new people in and out of the show. They're just going to make the best show that they can for that core group, and they're not trying to get greedy with, making it get up to 50 million again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Oscars should be in that vein where,
Yeah.
Right.
this is about movies and about, if it really is about excellence and about movies and they want us to think it's the big night in Hollywood, they should really, ratings be damned and just do it.
Yeah. For
It's
the
not the
people who
People's
go-
Choice Awards, it's the Academy Awards.
Exactly.
Right,
It's
That's
Super
right.
Bowl, it's not.
Right.
Yeah, let them
For
go.
younger people watching those type of things, People's Choice Award, Teen Choice Awards, and all like that. Yep, there you go.
The question I have is, one year they had and maybe someone can help out here. One year they had a streaming where you could watch it on television and watch on the internet. So rather than seeing the commercials, you could see what's going on backstage, people kind of hobnobbing and things. It was very interesting. Or you could see interviews. You could see them walking off the stage with the Oscar being interviewed. Things that weren't shown on television. Are they still doing that, or what am I missing?
That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't heard them announce any kind of streaming element, honestly. But I don't know that that's not happening. That could have been a specific director's vision of, I know every time they have a new director and they kind of put a spin on it.
Right.
But that's a good point. And again, nowadays, what they should be doing is leaning into these kinds of things. Again, TV is kind of an old, antiquated, medium. Most people are watching video online and streaming it. So it's time for the Oscars to kind of catch up with that and not be so concerned with their TV numbers.
Right. Or do it like the very first Academy.
We'll take one more question on this.
I read that ABC demanded that they cut 12 categories. 12, that's really a lot.
Wow.
And that they sort of compromised on 8. But I do agree that they have to keep it moving. But then you see they cut all this stuff and then they put those dumb production numbers, those dumb production numbers that nobody really cares about.
Yeah.
And it's like, who's coming up with this? It's all right to do a song and dance number and then cut 8 categories. That's just
If it were up to me, they would just have Billy Crystal come every year just to do an opening dance number. And they could have a different host. Just have him come up with a montage of all 10, then we don't have to have the moment where we go reminisce about each of the nominees through the night. It's just, the whole thing is ridiculous. Just for time, we're going to keep moving along
I
here.
have one question.
Yeah, real quick.
It's related to what we've been talking about. So, based on everything we've been saying, what is your best idea to reduce it to make sure it's a 3-hour show over by 11?
Oh, wow. I was going to say, well, take it back to the very first Academy Awards. It was a luncheon at the Roosevelt Hotel.
Yep.
Took 15 minutes.
Yep.
Best actor, best actress, best director, out. But of course, they're not going to be able to do something like that. But man, oh man.
Well, that this is I started in public television, government channels that broadcast like town halls and stuff like that. I think the national average is they jumped in length like 3 hours once cameras were installed in the room. So once they have a stage and a national audience, it becomes longer. My answer though is to give up on that idea. I would tell the network, find a network or a streaming platform that just says you can be on until it ends. And then put it on until it ends. If you want to go to bed at 11 o'clock, that's fine. The people that aren't going to watch it because of the length aren't going to tune out because it was 2 hours and 50 minutes. They're not going to tune in next year and be like, oh, I heard it was under 3 hours last year.
Right.
It's just they need to be proud of what they are and just own it and kind of stop trying to please. This is a dream world that I could preach about forever. Okay, here's a quick little video. This is about what we're talking about. This is the Oscar Goes to You.
Oscar goes to.
The Oscar goes to.
The Oscar goes to.
the Nespa.
Yay.
So, without further ado, let's get into the nominees
Yes.
of this year. We're going to kind of go through a little bit. Here's the thing, too. I don't want anybody to come and beat me up later for any of the nominations that I put out there. Me and Greg don't have any inside knowledge on anything that's happening.
Nope.
I'm going to give you my picks, what I would vote for if given these nominations, and what I would pick having seen everything. And then I'll give you, some insight as to what the front runner is, and then you can kind of make your own decision on your own ballot. And I hope you get them all.
There you go.
Just the whole rigmarole.
I really just came to see you.
Believe me, you did not want me to read this sober.
What little lady made these?
Actually, I did, sir. My mother was a florist, so I made them to look like the ones in our garden.
Lead us off, Greg.
It's always kind of funny when it seems like the supporting actors did a better job than some of the books nominated for Best
Yes,
Actors.
yes.
But again, you've got so many up here, all doing an excellent job. Reason why I'm just saying this one, because like we said, it's all our own opinions and all our own feelings, so it's not like, oh, well, he didn't do a better job because he rode a tank and this guy walked. But one that I really did like was J.K. Simmons, playing William Crawley, better known as Fred Mertz. And, as you all know, he's a local guy. But, right, and the reality is none of us really knew anything about William Crawley in real life. We just know, hey, here he is, he's married to Ethel on this show, then he goes to My Three Sons, becomes Bub, and then he died. And that was it. But, he, like everybody else, had this whole different life and different things that was going on. But like I said, they all did an excellent job. But I'm just going for him because he's the local guy. So, there you go, JK.
Cody Smith-McPhee has been the front runner here for a while, but recently it's been Troy Kotsur who's been kind of winning all the precursor awards. I would vote for Troy Kotsur. That's my pick. I think that obviously, like he said, they're all deserving. Belfast kind of died out a little bit. Kieran Hines hasn't been winning nothing. And I think that because there are 2 Power of the Dog nominations here too, that could pull enough away from Cody Smith-McPhee enough to give it to Troy Kotsur. So I feel like Troy Kotsur is the way to go in this category.
Once I passed out alone with someone in Arizona.
Don't look back.
Is there a song that makes you shiver?
I know you know how hard it is raising a daughter.
Again, so many great performances right there. As the old saying goes, I wish we could give them all an award.
I do too.
Jeez. We'd almost kind of like do the eeny, meeny, miny, mo, but Ariana DeBois for West Side Story. Excellent job. She also won the Screen Actors Guild Award the other day, and I'm a member of that group, so that's, I was like, oh, we picked something so good. But yeah, but again, it's all just kind of like right here with them. Just depending on which way, it flows.
I think Ariana DeBose is the front runner here, and she would also be my pick for this category. I think if there was any kind of upset in the category, it's probably going to be Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
But again, all good. Judi Dench, here's the thing too, I told you a great stat about her, and I love Judi Dench. Who doesn't love Judi Dench? She's fabulous. I would be interested to see who has the most nominations with the less screen time in the history of the world. I remember when she got nominated for Shakespeare in Love, it was like...
Titanic.
Titanic, oh yeah, there you go.
The lady of Titanic, she had maybe 10 minutes.
Well, I'm talking even over the course of a career of nominations. Like,
of
Judy's 8 nominations, I bet she's been on screen like an hour, like across those movies.
Do you think Ariana DeBose may get you were just talking about Eddie Murphy and he should have won, yet he hasn't really been in the...
I think what was different with that was, unfortunately, probably what happened with Eddie and it's happened with other people. They thought they were going to win, So they started already talking like they had one.
Yeah.
And so the Academy's like,
I don't think so.
like that.
Okay, we'll move on. Random categories, but we'll go through a documentary feature. Who here has seen Flea?
Huh?
No.
Just a couple people? Okay.
It was here, people, it was here.
Yeah, it was here.
Summer Soul.
Summer of
There you
Soul's
go.
fabulous.
Yep.
Summer of Soul was actually on ABC a few weeks ago.
Oh,
it?
that's right. That's right.
That's where I saw it.
Summer
Okay.
of Soul would be my pick in this category.
Same.
I thought it was not only a great documentary, but it's the kind of documentary that I didn't know what happened. Like, it was like, oh, seriously? Like, I really didn't know that that event had happened, and it was just so well done and put together in Questlove.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, funny story when I interviewed Questlove about this. Also, I got to interview Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr.
Oh,
from
right.
the Fifth Dimension.
Oh,
And
right.
I had to finally tell a man, I feel really bad about this, but I've had the biggest crush on your wife my whole life. Thank God we're on TV right now. I said, yeah, because you hit me.
Oh, no.
But Questlove told me about the amounts of money that they had to pay these people who were all in. I mean, Stevie Wonder was there. David Ruffin. I think, was Aretha Franklin there too? I think, or maybe not.
Gladys.
Gladys
Gladys
Knight.
was
That's
there,
it, that's
yeah.
the name. But so many people. Sly and the Family Stone for the weekend cost $1,500
Oh my
for the
God.
entire weekend.
Oh,
And I'm
wow.
thinking, I could have him in my backyard right now.
Yeah, but it's more than 1,500 now.
Oh, for sure.
Where did you interview him at?
Oh, via Zoom.
Okay,
Yep, that was during the COVID,
okay.
during the dog times.
The reason I bring up Flea is, if people haven't seen this, it's a rare movie. It broke a record this year. It's a documentary, foreign film, animated. And it's nominated in all 3 categories. And I sadly, because of that amazing achievement, I feel like it might not win in any of them.
Right.
Which is too bad, because it's really a powerful, great movie. So I do recommend it. All of these, by the way.
Yeah.
Anyway, Summer Soul is yours too?
Yep, that's
Okay. Animated feature,
Encanto.
Encanto. I think Encanto's going to win here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
I think Encanto's a huge front runner. If I had a vote, though, I loved Encanto. It would be very hard because I also really love the Mitchells
I
and
was
the
going to
Chicks.
say.
Yeah, we love that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You have to know,
I
this
didn't
was
see
like,
that one.
this is a really tough one.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where were you screening at?
How come Luca didn't come out in theaters? My favorite thing to do is go see Pixar movies in theaters.
Yeah, why
There's
are
another Pixar movie coming out this coming weekend on Disney Plus and not in theaters.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, why are they
Turning
doing
Red.
that?
Wait, that one's
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's gotta be in theaters. There's posters for it at MJR.
Yeah, they're not. It's not. It's not going to be in theaters.
Why do you know why Luca didn't come out in theaters though?
No, I don't. I mean, it was just a pandemic choice, as far as I know. Which is also weird because the Turning Red is the same thing. That for whatever reason, even though while Batman's doing 128 mil, they're putting Turning Red on Disney Plus. So I don't know. But here, yeah, I would go with Encanto. It's got all the momentum and the love and the steam behind it. Okay, we're at international. If there's one category that I would bet the house on this year, and I'm not a betting guy. I'm not saying that. It's not actual
The worst
advice.
person in the world?
Drive My Car.
Really?
Drive My Car is going to win this award.
That's right. What about
And I liked. You guys didn't like Drive My Car.
No.
Really? See, I loved it too. I thought it
Okay,
was.
men. How many men like
Pieces of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
nope.
But yeah, so many to pick from. Like I said, the worst person in the world.
I like it.
Makes
This
you
is
just
our
wanna watch
our
and think,
first
I know this-
disagreement.
I know this
We were all in the same boat until this one.
But
The worst person in the world. Yeah, I
I
know.
can't say, oh, worst person in the world. I just saw worst person in the world. I thought that was real.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
But again,
Well, now
maybe
you
it
gotta
was more to women.
Whether if you don't like Drive My Car, I understand. It's a 3-hour drama.
It is. It
Um,
goes nowhere.
It is by far and away the front runner here. So it's not going to not win this.
Drive My Car.
It was too long. Like, it needed to be edited. It was just.
See, I thought it was great, and I'll speak to that too.
What?
There are scenes in Drive My Car that you do not see in American films, where characters are just talking to one another, and the drama is in what they're saying and their in their interactions with one another. I don't think a movie like that could exist made here. To me, I thought there were elements that were really like phenomenal.
Okay, Tom Hardy did a movie where the entire movie took place in the car, and it was phenomenal.
I didn't like that one though.
Oh, I loved
Lock.
it. I
Yeah.
really did.
Oh, wow.
Well, not just because of the accent, but because I thought he kind of.
Yeah, that was a very highly touted movie though. Lock.
Well, yeah, just,
What was the name? Do you remember the name?
Lock.
What?
Locke.
Oh, okay.
Look, was it Look?
No, Lock.
Lock, okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Tomato, tomato.
Me neither.
Yeah, okay, we're into the screenplay categories. Adapted screenplay. Go for it, Greg.
Oh, geez. Again, so many good ones. I mean, The Lost Daughter was very good. Maggie Gyllenhaal did an excellent job. Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, and The Power of the Dog. I'll do this because I like this person. The Lost Daughter, Maggie
I lost
Gyllenhaal.
that.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
good.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
If I had a vote here for adapted screenplay, personally, I would probably have voted for Coda. I think though, if I'm telling you what to put on a ballot, I would say that the Power of the Dog. I think that if Power of the Dog wins in this category, you can start to think that it's going to win the Best Director and Best Picture as well. I think if it doesn't, though, I think Maggie Gyllenhaal could definitely win in this category. This is a tight race. This is a tight category. Yeah, yeah.
She won for
She's phenomenal. She's,
Yeah.
super cool.
you know, Campion won for the.
That's what I'm saying.
No, she didn't win for the.
Original screenplay.
Original.
Okay.
Again. I'm sorry.
The worst person in the world?
Don't look up.
Don't they usually give best original screenplay to the more quirky, original, you know, well, there's
Like Don't Look Up.
They all,
yeah.
they said all depends because, again, like with this one, even on a personal side, I like Belfast.
Okay.
But the reason, because I did get to talk to Ken Branagh with you, standing next to me, was I told him, I said, I'm watching this movie, basically he and I are the same age. And I said, well, what was so phenomenal to me is you're in Belfast, Ireland. I'm growing up in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
Completely different worlds, but we're living the same life as
Exactly.
kids. So that's what made it great. Stealing gum from the store, showing up late from home, and different things like that. It's like, doesn't matter where you're from. This is kids. This was kids.
Did you see all of the films?
Yeah, I have. I would say again, personal choice here. This is a tough category for me.
Yeah.
I would vote for. I think Licorice Pizza is going to win this award. I actually didn't like Licorice Pizza. Didn't like it.
I agree with
No.
We'll have a whole. There's a whole separate ticketed event. We'll do a Paul Thomas Anderson debate because that's the most debate that I get in with film people. That is my views on some P.T. Anderson films. But I think Licorice Pizza is possibly going to win here. If I could vote, though, I actually would vote for the worst person in the world in this category.
That's what I'm gonna say.
I just saw that today and now I'm torn.
It's tough,
That's why you should stop going.
Don't look up.
Don't Look Up. We have some Don't Look Up fans. Yeah.
Oh, and Tom was the first person to ask the question at the interview section of the movie.
Yeah, I got to talk to Meryl Streep. It was like,
Really?
I
Oh,
was
yeah.
on a chair. It was pretty
Okay.
sweet.
Encanto.
Did she
They
like
went-
it?
What's that?
Did she like the movie?
Meryl Streep?
Yeah.
Yeah, she liked it.
Sorry, Tom, too. You guys had
Sometimes they
tea.
don't even see it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was Jonah Hill, Meryl Streep, DiCaprio, and Jennifer Lawrence, and Adam McKay
The whole
on a
Right.
panel.
group.
And we were all at a screening the night before, and so they were all there, so we know.
I
Because
asked
they were
them-
sitting in
yeah.
front of us.
I asked them a great question. They called my name out of a hat, and I was the first one out of the press group to get to ask a question. And so I got to talk to. I gave them all a question, but Meryl Streep gave such a long, great answer. But the whole time I'm like, Meryl Streep's looking at me. Meryl Streep's looking at me. I don't really remember what she said.
You didn't text her back?
What's funny is after she ended, Jonah Hill started to answer, and the guy cut him off, and he's like, "What the hell, dude? Come on, man." So, and I never got to hear Jonah Hill or any of the others.
What did you ask them?
Who's seen Don't Look Up? Anybody seen it? A lot of people? Okay. I said, well, obviously it's a funny, very intriguing premise. But it was it also it's like sucks the hope out of you almost. You're watching it like we're doomed. Like we are completely doomed. So I asked them what is going on in the real world right now that gives them hope. And Meryl Streep again gave a fascinating answer that I wish I could remember.
Is it taped somewhere? Can we see it?
Yeah, it might be on my phone. Well, not that question though. I taped another part.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, to go on a segue, there's another great part of this interview where they ended up talking about this on one of the late night TV shows. But Jonah Hill had been going around during the filming referring to Meryl Streep as the GOAT.
Yes.
Which means the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
She had just found that out at this press conference.
That's right. Oh my God.
That he wasn't referring to her as an actual goat. and then Jonah heard the story and he was like mortified. He's like, Meryl! He's like, how could you thought I was calling you like a goat? Like chewing a can? Like, he was mortified. It was a really funny story.
It was.
And we heard it first and then like it was on late night the next week. We're like, yeah, I was here for that.
That's right. Should have put you on the show.
Yeah.
So what's the pick?
The score. I'm gonna go with Hans Zimmer.
Oh, okay.
What is this?
Original score.
Oh, I hear that's good.
Yeah. Original score. Hans Zimmer is also he has one win for The Lion King.
Okay.
With like I think it's 9 or maybe 11 nominations.
Yeah.
Really different.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody you have a pick here, Greg?
I'll go with him as well because the others, go.
Original song, Come On, with Diane Warren, right?
Yes.
Gotta be.
Absolutely.
She's probably not gonna win, but I'm gonna pick Diane Warren because I want to will it to happen.
We have a question about this.
Okay.
Okay. Don't the Bruno song.
We need to talk about Bruno.
Not allowed to be nominated.
Yeah.
Is this like the All-Stars for when it's the beginning of the season and you get the third baseman for the Tigers and he doesn't end up starting and you get the guy and he's hitting like 900, but he can't be voted on because you already picked the guy?
They only submit certain things, and for whatever reason, they did not submit that song because Disney had no
Why do
idea
they have
that
to
song.
submit it?
Yeah.
Why can't it just be that they say, that's a good song, we'll nominate it? Why do people have to
They're
submit
not
it?
that bright to remember the song, seriously.
Huh?
It might be.
I said they're not really that bright to remember a lot of the songs. So yeah, it needs to come from the filmmakers and all like that.
To bring attention to somebody,
It's
yeah,
our
rather
song.
than something else.
But we'll tell Diane Warren tomorrow.
Yeah, but also I think you have Beyonce here. You have Billie Eilish, who people are thinking that she could win. Although again, if you refer back to the demographics of the Academy, they might not know who Billie Eilish is.
No.
All right, I make a pause in the action here to tell people not to sleep on these technical categories because this is where usually people screw up their ballots because they don't really know, a little bit. Costume design. What do you guys think?
Cruella.
Cruella? Somebody said?
Cruella's good.
Yeah, Cruella's Cyrano.
Yeah, the color is so great.
Cyrano's great. Yeah,
It was
those two, I think.
Say West Side Story.
Here's my opinion in general for technical. When in doubt, just vote for Dune. Because more than likely Dune's going to win a lot of the technical categories. However, this is one I do not think it'll win. I do think that Cruella or West Side Story could win. But I would go for Cruella here because it's kind of a niche little thing that I don't know how they
Yeah,
do it.
Cruella, yeah, West Side Story. Cyrano, a good movie though.
Cyrano's great. Love Cyrano. Hairstyle and hairstyle.
Cruella.
Somebody said maybe Tammy Faye. That's just
Yeah.
so funny.
Oh,
She
yeah.
got nominated for
Oh,
best
no,
makeup.
yeah, that was amazing.
Considering
Yeah, but
how
what
she's
about
known for.
House of
She should win
Gucci
it.
too?
I didn't even know it was the actress. I thought it was Tammy.
Coming to
Jessica
America, or basically
Chastain
like
really
regular
looked like
makeup or
her.
whatever you want to say.
I can't believe Coming to America has more nominations than Mass.
That's true.
This category pains me to look
We're
at.
talking to each other. Talking to
That's
us.
where I'm gonna screw it up.
I like this. I'm gonna let you guys just talk about this one yourselves. I would go with. I think I would go with Dune here, though.
And how do I? Okay, how many eyes of Tammy Faye?
There we go.
Okay.
And I haven't even seen
All right.
the movie, but I'm just
How many Dune?
Tom, why do you think Dune will be here?
There wasn't much
For
makeup.
makeup and hair.
Yeah, where's the makeup?
They wore
Because,
jumpsuits.
well, how about the bad guy?
Well, one guy, do not make it.
all the aliens. Here's the thing. This goes back to my issue with the Oscars sometime with the acting categories. The people that get nominated a lot of times give the over the top, like the performances that were meant to be the Oscar. You rarely win the Oscar for being like the subtle, doing a great job of acting, but it's like goes unnoticed almost. Or you play against the guy who's going crazy. I think Dune has some amazing hair and makeup in it, but it's the Tammy Faye movie is definitely the one that's like the most obvious. You know, like people that don't know hair and makeup are going to look at that and go. And what I mean by that is like the Academy, who's voting at a large. That's why Tammy Faye could easily win here.
Yeah. But what about a House of Gucci? The way they disguised Jared Leto.
I think that House of Gucci is too polarizing. There weren't enough people that liked that movie, or you know, or even liked Leto's performance. You know, there's a handful that think it was great, and then other people that thought it was, you know. Yeah, you tell pass that along to them.
Production
design. What do you guys think?
What do you got?
Dune.
Dune would be good on this.
Dune or West Side Story.
Dune or West Side Story.
Oh no, West Side Story.
Dune or West Side Story.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it'll win here, but Nightmare Alley, did anybody like that movie?
Yeah.
What a beautifully shot movie too, like everything
Older
about
one I
it.
liked better, but it was I liked the original movie better.
Oh, Dune?
But the production design of this one was outstanding.
Especially the first half of it with the circus stuff, Carnival. Tragedy Macbeth too, by the way.
Yeah, really good. With Denzel.
I didn't think so.
But I'd say Dune. What do you say there, Greg?
I'll go with Dune as well. Yeah. Like
I'm going Dune a lot just because I feel like I'm hedging my bets. I think that Dune's going to end up being. I don't think Dune. I think Dune is probably my 10th favorite movie out of the Best Pictures. But I think it's going to probably end up having the most overall wins just because of how it's nominated.
Can you tell me what a cinematographer actually does?
A cinematographer is the
got
one.
The camera, right?
They're shooting everything. I mean, everything in the frame is their responsibility.
But how much does the director impact the cinematographer and
They work well together, close together, and I would say the answer to that is really, it's different with every director. There are some directors that are probably, just like with actors, there are probably some directors that approach actors differently than other people. There are probably some directors that, you know, sit over the shoulder of it, tell the cinematographer exactly what they're wanting, and then they do it. Or there's probably others that hire a great cinematographer knowing that he's going to bring something to the project, just like an actor would, you know what I mean? So I would say most of the cinematographers would tell you that a great director is going to be somebody that lets them have freedom with what they're doing, you know, gives them direction like they would, you know, notes to an actor, but ultimately is giving them freedom to do their work. But yeah, the entire everything that's in the box is the cinematographer's duty and job and responsibility.
Right, and usually the director and cinematographer, if you look through the credits of their movies, they usually work together a lot of times because they're two people who know each other.
Yeah.
I don't have to tell you anything. You can just look.
That's right.
And know, you know, what I may want.
Right.
And I already know that you know how to go out and get it.
That's right.
So that's how, you know, they usually always work well together that way.
Because I kind of have the same question with editor, and you know, because all these people are taking different approaches to creating the final product.
Right.
Editor is very strong.
I think here, this is the category where Ari Wagner again is, you know, the second female ever here. Here's something interesting. I don't know how much this will matter. Who here has heard the Sam Elliott controversy comments?
I've heard about it. Yeah, I heard
okay.
Yeah.
For people that love or liked Power of the Dog in the Academy or loved it, I think that coming out, because he specifically addressed something about the cinematography, about it being shot not in Montana. I feel like that's going to make people want to vote for her even more. So I feel like the Power of the Dog could win here as well.
How about Dune and West Side Story?
But I tell you what, yeah, West Side Story, there are some just incredibly
moving shots.
Yeah.
If you could combine that with like choreography, then maybe I would say no-brainer. Oh yeah, by the way, make the Oscars even longer, add some stunt categories.
There's a lot of him. I love that. It's about the guy who did Rent.
Yeah.
Larson.
Rent.
No, it's
Dune.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah. Like we were saying, it's really kind of funny in this category. None are really action. So it's kind of like, you know, to an extent, just straight edits.
Although Tick Tick Boom is really,
Yeah.
the energy of it is created in the editing, really.
It's amazing.
So, yeah.
I was thinking about Tick Tick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, Tick Tick Boom.
And I would love, this is a way that they could, because it's probably not going to win anywhere else
No,
where it's nominated,
I
so
agree.
maybe this is a great spot to give
Yeah.
it.
So you give it to them?
Visual.
I would go Dune. But I would vote, if I had to vote, Tick Tick Boom.
Dune.
Yeah, Tick Tick Boom.
Dune! Again, visual. I'm just going to say Dune. You guys are going to think I had a stroke.
I have a question.
Yes.
How come the Suicide Squad didn't get nominated for this? They had a giant starfish kaiju. Why is Shang-Chi, well no, why is No Time to Die? I would take that out and put the Suicide Squad.
It's never what you want.
Too popular.
I take Dune for this.
That's the first. Yeah, it's the first take I've heard on why Suicide Squad hasn't been nominated. Yeah.
Also did like Shang-Chi.
These are all good.
Oh, look, Spider-Man, No Way Home. Yay!
Fan favorite.
Yep.
I love Spider-Man.
More so than one time.
Yeah, it should have been nominated.
Wait, what did you take for that?
What's your choice?
I said Dune again here.
I take-
Which one did you choose?
It's like I'm
What does
stuck.
Greg say?
I should.
I just
Shang-Chi.
I keep yelling out the same word.
Yeah.
agree with you.
Okay.
On the tennis.
Yep.
He said people like that.
Oh, that was good.
I thought it was.
Again, sad to me that who here saw the movie Mass?
Yeah.
Anybody?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mass.
great.
M-A-S-S.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no.
The one that came out this year with Ann Dowd.
Oh, no, sorry.
That is the
Wrong movie.
I thought you said Mask. I'm going.
For the record, if you guys get the chance to see it, it's a Bleecker Street movie. It's called Mass, M-A-S-S. It stars Ann Dowd and Martha Plimpton and Jason Isaac. It was my #1 movie of the year.
I love that.
Really. And
Never heard of it.
it pains me when I see that the Free Guy and Coming to America have more nominations than Mass.
Yeah.
So yeah, go see Mass. It was a small movie. It's a powerful movie, and it was the best acting you'll see.
And actually, it was a lot of fun.
Sound. Okay, they could not.
West Side Story.
I'm glad that I don't have to explain anymore between sound mixing and sound editing. They just combine it now, and there's one category called sound.
West Side Story.
Dune. There's an echo in here. I can tell. I like that. Dune.
West Side Story.
You guys know what
Although
I'm
No
voting for.
Time to Die was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, you take
Especially if
Dune
you saw
or
Dune
West
in
Side
IMAX.
Story?
Oh, yeah, I bet.
Dune. Okay, here are, for those that don't know anything about these, The Queen of Basketball is the movie that I think is going to win this category.
Yeah.
This is also the movie that we're going to play at the end. For those who want to stay and watch it, it's
cool.
22 minutes long. We'll play it at the end of the program. It's probably the only movie that's what they would call an upper. The rest are what we would call big downers. Very great selection of films here. For me, the movie Lead Me Home. It's about homelessness.
Yeah.
That to me was maybe the most impactful
Yeah.
for me personally.
Since it's happening in
I
our
liked
own
When We Were
backyard.
Bullies too.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was very. They're all good. When We Were Bullies is on. Was it HBO Max? Just picked that up. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked Audible too.
When we
Audible is about a deaf football team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I heard about that.
Queen of Basketball. Yeah, real prep on that, just in case you want to stay and watch it. It's about the greatest female basketball player of her era, which was the era of like Wilt Chamberlain back in the day. And she was actually drafted by the NBA,
She was.
not the WNBA, the
So
NBA.
And she didn't
There
go.
was no
She chose not to
WNBA.
go.
Right, there was no. That's what the documentary is about. Is kind of how, at that time, there was nowhere to go. All these other male athletes of her caliber were getting sponsorships and making millions of dollars, and she had nowhere to go. Or she could choose to enter a male-dominated, sport where she would have probably been mistreated and whatever else. So,
Like the female role of getting married and having children.
Yep.
And coaching.
Yep. Very successful.
Get your fun. Go.
live action short.
Not yet.
I just like the sound of Please Hold.
I liked Please Hold.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Anyway.
Please
I
hold.
saw
Thank
Please
you.
Hold.
Okay.
Yeah, again, check these out if you go watch it. I don't like to give away a lot about the short films because to me, a lot of the fun of the short movies are to not know what they really are about. You just kind of go into them and then they kind of take you in directions that you don't know about. But Police Hold, what I'll say about that is it's kind of like, it reminded me of like a Black Mirror episode. I don't know who watches Black Mirror. It's like tech Twilight Zone. And it was really interesting. Riz Ahmed stars in The Long Goodbye. That one is kind of becoming the front runner just because of the name recognition of Riz Ahmed on it. So if you're picking a winner here, you might want to go Long Goodbye.
Okay.
Animated shorts. Robin is the front runner in this category.
Like that.
Downer year. That's what I thought about the
I
stuff.
have a question about this category.
Yes.
Only the Child was not nominated. It was called. I saw a short. It was an animated short.
It was called Only the Child?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It was like about. I showed it to you.
Yeah, it was about.
It was like.
I mean, it was really powerful.
It's very. It was like about global. It was about everything.
It's about global warming and everything. It's like we are here, and it's this kid. We are here, and I mean, we were shocked when it wasn't even nominated. It was that good. You have to go back and look at it.
This is the first year in several that I think like a Pixar or Disney didn't have one in this category. And I remembered that it might have happened too early. I forget the name of it, but there was a short that played in front of Raya and the Last Dragon that was really good. It was about a couple that was like dancing out in the rain. Does anybody remember?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I was surprised that didn't show up here. But I ruled the world.
You can't believe everything that you read in the newspapers.
Felt like I'd been trying not to explode and then I exploded. Todo va a salir bien, ya verás. This is my mistake.
It seems they're circling just me.
Okay.
Who here is rooting for Kristen Stewart? We got one guy.
Yes.
Two guys. Two people. Three people.
They say she's really good.
Yeah, she's good.
How about, let's show of hands, Jessica Chastain.
I think.
Okay, got a lot of
I
those.
don't think she'll get it.
Olivia Colman.
I think this will be the second one.
Okay.
But she already won for that other.
The favorite, yeah.
But she should have won. She was Queen Anne.
Who has seen, let me ask this question, who has seen Parallel Mothers? What do you guys think of Penelope Cruz?
Excellent.
She did a great job.
Yep.
Nicole
It
Kidman?
was a good movie, and she was good.
There's one.
Okay.
Not Nicole Kidman.
So this is all over the place. This is great. This is fabulous.
I thought Kristen Stewart, so when I first saw Spencer, I assumed that this movie was going to get nominated for everything, and I thought Kristen Stewart would be a lock for Best Actress.
Yeah.
And when I only got nominated for this, I was like, well, I guess I don't know as much as I thought I
Oh, you made no point of it.
It's humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out the Oscars.
Oh, that's gonna
I legit thought this was going to be a huge,
Doesn't mean,
Oscar all across the board.
yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're wrong.
I heard she was a front runner.
Yeah.
but-
I'm a big fan of the movie Passing. I thought the two African-American actresses were fantastic.
They should have
Neither one of them got nominated.
Ruth Negga
Right.
and
Because
Tessa
it was
Thompson.
just a Netflix movie or what?
Well, they were black.
Any idea?
Lost
You know
daughters
what?
on that.
Go ahead.
I don't really know. As I was watching Passing, I thought it would have been a shame. The movie itself, the actresses, but also the score of that movie
Right.
Yeah.
was just like
Oh, wasn't it good?
phenomenal. Like it's one of the few scores that you like. You know, when you're watching a movie, you don't often leave and say, "Wow, that was a great score." Like, but unless it really jumps out and like hits you, and that movie was one of those movies for
Yeah, the
me.
movie should have been nominated too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is surprising.
Terrific
But
movie.
then again,
Yeah, Ruth Negga just won
some SAG award?
Yeah.
Was it the SAG award?
Was it? No, it was some kind of independent
she-
award.
Okay.
So I
For
like
Passing.
the movie Come On, Come On. I thought that was really
Yeah, that got overlooked by a lot.
Nothing.
This is a tough category. Jessica Chastain just won the SAG award.
Oh.
I don't know what's going to happen here.
Okay.
I think Kristen Stewart could win, even though she hasn't been nominated for other groups. But if you apply that logic we were talking about earlier, where you have to put in the work, right now that would mean Chastain, Coleman, and Kidman are kind of front runners in this category, and
no,
Cruise too. I guess all four of them.
Coleman's
That kind of bumped Stewart to the back, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Coleman's gotten one.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so,
It was wrong, but
Within like the last,
Yeah,
what, 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
She was the best part of that movie. Yeah, no, I was
there were
so
better
happy.
people.
I vote for Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah.
happy.
That's my vote.
Did you see the movie?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't like it?
I don't know. I saw the trailer and I wasn't moved to see it, so maybe I will see it.
Yep.
She is great in it. But
You should see it just for her.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's great in it too.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge fan of Michael Showalter, who's the director, who did one of my favorite movies recently. It was called Hello, My Name is Doris.
Yeah, I
years
saw
ago.
that. With,
Sally Field.
Sally Field.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So Michael Showalter is awesome, and the movie's good. It's like not, it's a good movie that I would recommend people see it, and I think that, I mean, if you guys know, people know Tammy Faye Baker too, and she just like embodies it above the makeup, like the laugh, the mannerisms.
Yeah.
She had her down.
Yeah.
He doesn't mean anything to see.
You're going to want to keep your distance and just off the horse.
I just spent the last 8 years killing myself on a musical that's never gonna happen.
You're going to be the greatest of all time.
Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
The music alone just.
Let's go through show of hands.
Okay, last segment.
Javier Bardem.
What?
Javier Bardem. A couple people. Benedict Cumberbatch.
He was good.
Nobody's voting for him. That's interesting.
Will
Andrew
Smith
Garfield.
just won.
I liked him.
like
Can I vote more than one?
Yeah, do whatever you like.
Didn't Cumberbatch win for the Imitation Game?
No, he didn't.
You got nominated?
I don't think he's won.
Yeah.
But he's been nominated before.
He
Will
hasn't
Smith?
won.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's his.
It's his time.
Say that again.
I think it's his time.
Yeah, go for it. Tell the people.
He's had so many good movies.
That's what we were just talking about even earlier, where it's probably going to be that thing. Okay, well we've screwed you over enough.
Yeah.
Let's pitch it that you did a
Unless
great job.
unless Benedict comes back.
Wait, so who do you think?
Will Smith.
He doesn't have an Oscar, right?
No.
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 And he just won the SAG, I think.
Andrew might need a little more.
Especially for Ali, he should have.
Yeah, you're right. Andrew Garfield falls into that category of like, hey, welcome to the big leagues, buddy, but you got to put in a couple more like that in order to win it.
Hey, it could be another Marissa Tomei moment.
That's true.
Yeah, that was still hilarious.
All right, directing. Regardless of what you may like best here, I think Jane Campion is the front runner and is probably going to win this category.
Again?
Jane Campion.
Power of the Dog.
She's won before.
I would be shocked, and I mean shocked if anybody else in this category won.
The only dark horse might be Kenneth Branagh.
She was the first one.
I agree.
Kenneth Branagh is a dark horse.
Ask it again.
What?
Do you think Maggie Gyllenhaal got robbed?
Yes.
In this category?
Yeah.
That was her first.
It's tough, and it's a tough word to use because, when they say robbed, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah, she should have been nominated, but like, who do you take out of this group? I know from hearing some of you, probably you would say Drive My Car, but for me, I feel like, I would take out Paul Thomas Anderson out of this category and put in Maggie Gyllenhaal, and it would look perfect.
Because she did win the Spirit Award last night for directing.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How come we're getting down to the very end in West Side Story? I don't hear anything about West Side Story.
It's in there.
People didn't like it as much.
Ariana DeBose is going to win, most likely.
Right.
But yeah, it's not getting, it doesn't have any sort of momentum. Yeah.
Because it bombed at the box office, but as far as aesthetically, as a film, well, how would you rate it? Would you say it was?
I really liked West Side Story. Like, I thought it was well done, and I thought, it's a whole nother a whole nother night of us discussing things, but I have a problem with remakes in general.
That's what I was gonna say.
Like why? Like, you know, I guess there are some movies that you need to remake maybe to make them more PC or whatever, and maybe that's one of them. So I think West Side Story, though, again, it's in the mix with all these awards, but it's not winning any precursors, and nobody's really buzzing about any of the categories other than Ariana DeBose. Yeah.
Quickly, why did you not like Licorice Pizza? And let me back up and say I'm willing to watch on the internet your opinion or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Interested.
Read my review at movieshowplus.com.
Oh, so it's on there?
Yeah, it is on there. Yeah. It is on there. Yeah. Licorice Pizza. I was into it. I was really into it for like half of it, and then it lost me, which is about every Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
And then one more thing also about...
What about Belfast?
That's what we were saying. If there is a dark horse in this category, it's probably going to be Kenneth Branagh.
Why is Belfast a dark horse? Because in the beginning of the year, or towards the beginning, it was like it felt like it was shoe-in. Like it was going to win.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's why.
So beautiful.
It's early, and then all of a sudden, like I said, then, right. And then also going back on West Side Story, I was kind of the same way, where I grew up watching the original.
Yeah. Right.
We had the album at our home,
yeah.
and I don't think it was around when it first came out, but remember back then they would always re-release movies like every 2-3 years in the theater. So I remember going to see that, and I just thought it was the greatest thing I had ever seen in my life.
You're right, it was.
Knew all the songs, knew everyone in there. Everybody was just so great. Then when this one came out, I knew I had to see it.
Uh-huh.
But my deal was, believe it or not, I found a friend who had never seen the original.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And I won't even tell you who it is. Dana Clark, who's on WJR. And so I told her, I said, I want you to come with me. Because anybody else like myself who has seen the other one, I don't mean we're going to be jaded, but yeah, we're going to be up there going,
You'll be judging.
that didn't do that.
Yeah.
That didn't go that way.
Yeah.
So she watched it, she liked it, but again, she loves musicals, but she wasn't blown away. And like I said, for like myself, it was like you said, leave the original alone. Yes.
Don't you guys think Dune should have been nominated for Best Director, considering he got nominated for everything else? Poured his heart and soul in this movie, and it's been well documented how.
Everything in
maybe part 2 he doesn't.
Yeah, it's always weird with those things. So you'll see that. It's like they've got everything from best director, best sound, best editing, best costume, best picture. No, and it's like.
So again, read my full review at movieshowplus.com. But Dune, to me, was I didn't love Dune. I had issues with Dune, but yes, if you think that it's good enough to be in the best nominated categories of all these technical awards, how does it not get director? Right. somebody was coordinating all of those things.
Do you think Dune is going to be the kind of thing the same as Lord of the Rings? They're going to wait until the last one comes out?
They very well could, because the Academy thinks that way. They think, well, you know what, that we have more opportunities to award these people, and they waited to Return of the King was the best Lord of the Rings movie, of course, but they waited to the end to like shower it with everything. But they do think that a lot of times you'll see like the screenplay category will go to that one other movie that doesn't win Best Picture or Best Director, but it wins. They want to honor it somehow. Or okay, we'll give like I said, Tick Tick Boom. They'll give it. We'll give them this award for editing, and now we've hyped that film up, and now we're good.
Well,
we don't have to do it anymore.
Screenplay. Could you tell us again what you picked for the 2 screenplays? I missed that.
Screenplay, I think Licorice Pizza will win, even though I don't like the movie. That seems to be the front runner. I would vote for The Worst Person in the World.
Okay.
And then adapted screenplay, I think Power of the Dog will win, but Lost Daughter could also win.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I had to pick here, though, I'm going to go Jane Campion. And then we're back to Best Picture. What do you guys think in the room?
Which ones are missing?
Let's
get it done.
I mean, really, they did 10 movies for Best Picture. And I think
who do you think the room picked as Best Picture?
Belfast.
Or Coda.
Let's reveal our picks. I personally think that Power of the Dog will end up winning Best Picture and Jane Campion.
Well, Elliot would be upset.
That's a great.
Me too.
I still go Belfast myself. But
That comes
Yeah.
with that
He
comes
says
with my
Belfast and
question.
Thank you.
Now this comes with my question, because it happened last year. I forgot what it was again. The winner last year. Most boring movie. Painfully boring. Nomadland.
Oh.
Painfully boring.
Which movie?
And
Oh,
one.
yeah, I didn't see it.
If you go back to the 80s, all these movies were putting me to sleep. Winning! So you put in Power of the Dog, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard it, and they're like, boring!
Yep.
But it's going to win.
Go for it.
Again, this is kind of like something we were talking about earlier when we were eating before starting the show. A lot of times, people will base things off of what critics say. I mean, we do our best, as we always say, to give you our full review and what we think of it, but we also tell you, make your own opinion.
Absolutely.
There are a lot out there who sometimes think that, oh, I've got to sound like a real, any kids in here? Okay, I've got to sound like a real asshole. And just go, oh, this movie is so boring, it is so slow moving, this has got to be the greatest thing ever.
That's it.
That's why I picked this one. And it's like, no one saw it. I mean, I've seen that before where a couple of Best Pictures, you ask people, have you ever seen this?
Yeah.
No.
They vote for their friends,
Yeah.
too.
And they vote because they think it's a smart thing. I don't understand it, so it must be, if I say I do, it must be really cool.
Right. And then you'll get the sheep to follow along. Yeah, that is the greatest movie I've ever
I
seen
always
in my life.
joked about when Out of Africa won. I said, it would never happen. Robert Redford would not have gone for Meryl Streep. It would not have happened.
I don't know, it's awfully lonely out there.
I don't know what I should do.
Here's what I love about movies, though.
The way they made her in that movie.
If you have seen the movies, then there is no right answer.
That's right.
Yeah.
The ones that I don't like are the ones that sit from the outside of the industry, and they haven't seen anything, and then that movie sounds boring. I would never watch that because it is a Western or whatever it is. If you've watched it and you don't like it, that's fantastic to me. Like, then we talk about it, right? That's what movies are all about. We discuss, we relate to each other, and we kind of reveal some truths about ourselves when we talk about movies.
Actually, there's a
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
gentleman right there. So,
And then we had a guy over here too with the hand up.
okay.
Oh, how often is Best Picture and Director different? Because usually the director wins Best Picture.
It has happened before. I don't know the stats on that. Do you know offhand, Frank? Or
Like
Did it
different
happen
directors
last year?
that didn't win, that ended up winning like Best Picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One was.
there are directors that have won and Best Picture wins and they didn't win.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it
I
Argo?
mean, 2013 that happened too with Ang Lee with Life of Pi, then Argo won.
Yeah, Argo won Best Picture, right? But Ben Affleck wasn't even nominated.
Because they didn't like him.
Yeah.
Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah,
Brokeback
Mountain.
Mountain.
Brokeback Mountain.
So it has happened, and here's the other rub too with having 10 Best Picture nominees.
Yeah.
By default, you have to snub 5 people. You know, like you're gonna put, unless you're gonna do 10 directors, 5 of the Best Pictures or every year are gonna not have a Best Director with them. So that's where like Denis Villeneuve falls in for Dune this year, and a couple others. But yeah, I don't know. Like I love though that people have different opinion on stuff. Just watch the movies though. You know, then we could talk about it. And there's no right answer. There's no right answer. I've always hated that too, like you said, where. I keep picking on P.T. Anderson. I'm so sorry, P.T. Anderson. But a lot of times people who that adore him, it's either, like every movie he's made is always a masterpiece. And if you don't think so, then you just didn't get it.
Right.
And I've always hated that mentality. Like, no, like I'm allowed to think it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Tom and Greg, where do you see movies going in the next 5 or 10 years? I say that because I feel threatened that this venue won't be here 5 or 10 years from now. Being a just loving movies. Am I being too pessimistic?
Well, my thought is I think theaters, still will be around because truthfully, let's face it, they're the best bet as far as a date night Most of us in high school, this might have been our first date to take somebody or go with somebody on a movie. And then even just when you're at home, you're just kind of going, let's get out of the house. Let's go see a movie. And it's great to always see it on a big screen. But I think what has happened and what we've seen during the pandemic is there are a lot of folks who now are just going to release certain films, probably on streaming services, that way.
Who's doing that?
Wait,
I'm going, are my shoes off?
People are getting mad.
Uh-oh.
We thought it was final.
Somebody got convinced.
The Coda people came out.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
You guys, it's not too late for a West Side Story run. You guys all gotta get together.
But I think that, there still will be the streaming services, but I think they'll still do it kind of like the way they're doing now with a lot. They'll still open them up in theaters, and then in some cases, 2 weeks, depending on the movie, 2 weeks later, boom, it'll be at home. Or like the Batman, we won't see that probably for, 6 months at least, maybe at home?
Yeah.
Something like that, because they're going to get every nickel and dime out of it. But this is still just the best, just fun thing to do. Just get together with a friend.
That's honestly why. That's why it's important that you come out to things like this.
Yeah.
Theaters like the Maple are doing so much to just survive, and it's these kind of programs that they make their living on.
Right.
And I think here's a little sneak peek, by the way, too, is one thing that I've missed over this whole barrage of superheroes taking over the industry is I asked myself the other day, where have the comedies gone?
Yes.
Like the in theater comedy, every single comedy right now, and there are a couple that come out every year, not nearly as many as they used to be, but they all go to streaming services. There are very few that are put out. And so I'm working with the Maple right now, starting maybe in April or May, to do a monthly comedy series where so that we can, you come to the theater, you have fun, and have it be the kind of comedy that's fun to watch with people and have it in the theater and do that sort of thing. So, yeah, by coming out, you're supporting the Oscar Gala, and some of these other events that the Maple's doing, their opera series that they do, any of these things are important,
I have a comment about movies that aren't in theaters at all, and I'm specifically thinking of Coda, which I just watched, and it was a fabulous movie, a lovely movie, but it felt a little bit the way it was shot, like kind of a TV movie. It could have been
kind of feels small.
A TV movie, and that makes me wonder if these movies that were never in theaters, like Coda, that was made for Apple TV, and it was only on Apple TV, if they're not quite up to the quality, and if maybe they have a little bit of a leg up because people were able to watch them from day one streaming and never had to go to a theater, never even had the opportunity to see them on a big screen. I wonder if it's not a level playing field, really. Totally streaming movies versus theatrical movies.
Right.
Because I've seen a bunch of these, and like I just saw Tragedy of Macbeth, and the difference between a movie like Coda, which felt a little hallmarky, and something like that, it's like night and day.
Yeah, I think the way people consume movies right now definitely plays into how they affect people. I'm 42. When I saw, oh, thank you. We have fans of people in their 40s.
Youngster,
a movie that was very affecting me as I grew up was when I saw Braveheart in the movie theater for the first time. It blew me away with the action sequences. I couldn't imagine somebody seeing that for the first time, watching it on their phone.
Yeah.
Or for example, Dune. Dune. There might be, people like Dune. It got a lot of nominations, but maybe people don't love Dune because a lot of people saw it at home or watched it on their iPad. Where a movie like Dune, really begs you to watch it in a theater with the sound and all the elements of that. So, there's definitely something to that. But we're seeing absolute upheaval of the whole system right now. The Oscars got to keep up. So. But yeah, so just to recap, guys, this is our show, movieshowplus.com if you like being Greg, or if you want to just razz us or critique us or whatever, jump
Just
on there.
anything, just send a note, send a message.
We put up our new episodes online. We're also on TV 38 WADL in Detroit on Sundays at 4:30. We have a free e-newsletter you can sign up for where we give away stuff. We just gave away 20 pairs of tickets to the Batman.
Yeah.
Wow.
So sign up for the e-newsletter on there. This is something that we also do. If you are so inclined to do this, the way that we continue to do Movie Show Plus is by fan support. So we have a Patreon program set up where for like $3 a month you can help us stay on the air, keep the show going, station costs allow us to do kind of these remote things like this. And you can get that by scanning that QR code. And there's different tiers, you get different stuff, and there's Movie Show Plus mugs and t-shirts, and we're going to put that picture of Greg with his hair on a cup. We thought that might be
How would you like that?
hot seller.
like it.
You buy one? There's that.
My afro's now an infro. Let's go.
Quick plug for the Oscar Gala. Has anybody here already bought a ticket for the Oscar Gala?
Not yet.
Nobody's bought them yet? Okay.
Yes. What?
You guys are giving Ruth a heart attack. Buy the ticket. No, I'm just kidding.
But we always come through. She's got to have confidence.
There you go.
Party starts at 7 o'clock. It's a lot of fun. If you guys were here last time, we're watching the Oscars basically on the big screen. Don Santilli, I believe your last name is pronounced.
Oh,
is that
yeah.
right, Dad?
Good looking guy right there.
Don Santilli is one of the guys in the Gene and Tonics, which is the band that will be performing there. They were here in 2020. Jazz band. They'll be playing out in the lobby. There will be food, red carpet, photo booth. We're going to be giving away a bunch of stuff, raffling them off during the commercial breaks. We're also going to do a silent auction. We have a lot of cool stuff. But me and Greg will be here, and you can, again, buy tickets on mapletheater.com.
All right.
Also check out Movie Show Plus YouTube channel.
Yeah, do that.
Because you get a chance to go back and see all of their interviews. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. From the website too.
Yeah, geez.
All this guy has interviewed like
everybody.
Who here would like die to get to talk to Tom Hanks for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
He interviewed him like twice in the span of like
twice in my
a couple
basement
months.
over the past year.
But yeah, he interviews everybody.
I have a question for you.
And there's a lot of reviews all the way back from 2010 for me. So if you want to look back at some, anything, there's so much content on our site.
My
I have one
1930
question for
chaplain.
you. What category, when you went in and you saying, yeah, this one's going to win, which one, like, made you, like, ticked off?
Yeah.
Type thing. We have ours in our history.
As far as this year, or you mean in general?
In general.
In general.
In general.
We have
ours, but
We have
what
one.
was yours? One that you like, yeah, this should win, this should win, this should win, and it didn't win, and you're like, you must be kidding.
I remember as a kid, again, maybe a teenager, I was going to boycott the Oscars for the rest of my life because Val Kilmer did not get nominated for Tombstone. I was so upset about that. I can't think about it now. It takes me to dark places.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Can we get him a drink, somebody?
I'm taking drinks. Anybody want to?
Yeah, what about, did you have another one? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Oh, God, like you said, I'll let you know when we're back here for the event.
Okay.
Because like you said, there are so many.
There are a lot.
And it is, like you said, it's just kind of a weird thing when you think about some movies that have been so popular, like Jaws.
Yeah.
Anyone in this room, have you never seen Jaws?
Oh.
Spoiler alert.
Did you see it originally?
50-year-old movie.
Right.
No.
But then you
I remember where I
think,
was.
everyone in the world, it seems, has seen it, but it lost to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I know.
That was a great
And how many of you, like myself, I mean, good movie, don't get me wrong, but how many of you, like myself, was that a one and done?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I mean,
That's right.
you saw it the one time and you were like, okay, I'm good.
I don't watch it anymore.
Right,
Yeah.
I
haven't watched
don't
it
get to see it.
since.
Or if I go home tonight and flip on the TV, Jaws, 10 minutes left, great, I'm getting the end of the boat.
Ours was This Is Me, from The Greatest Showman.
yeah. Oh.
We're going there. It was in the Olympics. It was there. It was going to win, and it lost to Coco. And we said,
Oh, yeah.
you must be kidding me. Who? It was an anthem.
It was.
And it lost.
Yeah.
And I think we almost turned off the Oscars. You must be kidding.
I was always mad that The Color Purple never won anything.
Yep.
I was really
It's
upset.
your one, don't they?
Dad, what are you mad about? Blues Brothers never being
Blues
nominated?
Brothers never made it. And more people seen that
believe,
than
you know?
Cuckoo's Nest.
La La Land. I won for 5 minutes.
That's the worst ever. Thank you.
5 minutes.
That's the worst ever.
You're right.
I was watching it on delay, and
Oh
my
my
brother
God.
texted me. He's like, "Are you kidding me?" And I'm like, "La La Land won."
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he didn't like it or something,
then-
and I knew that. And when it happened, I was like, I couldn't. I can't even talk about that either.
No, it still works.
More about I'm just trying to get hugs for Greg.
I feel like we haven't had a great Oscar since 2017, the year where I call it the movie pass year. That's the year where $10 movie pass.
Movie pass.
And it was like Shape of Water and
Oh, jeez.
Three Billboards movie and Darkest Hour and Dunkirk. All these great, amazing nominees for Best Picture.
Yeah.
There was Shape of Water.
Shape of Water, right.
Which was great, but there were also all these other nominees. And I couldn't really complain about anything.
Three billboards.
Oh, yeah.
Three billboards. Disappointing.
I'm all for shortening, or I'm all for letting the Oscars long, as you guys have heard by now. But one thing I could totally do without is the little bits that they try to do before each thing.
Yes.
Like,
We
just
know.
present
We've
the
seen
award,
them.
man.
Right.
I don't need the jokes. Unless it's like Will
Full
Ferrell
attention.
or like Amy Poehler or like, Tina Fey or like somebody funny. But I don't need to see like,
Yeah.
Louis Gossett Jr. doing stand-up
Try to
comedy.
do it.
You know.
Stand up.
Did you like Ellen getting pizza for everybody?
Oh, I remember that. That was good, especially if you're sitting in the first 5 rows.
Yeah. He's the pundit of free food, so yeah. He
It was
likes
like that
If
was
it's
what
free,
Bob
it's for
Hope
me.
was like.
Gotta get that t-shirt.
He went up, he did his, 5 minutes and whatever, and then
He's out.
there were no other hosts either. I mean, what I mean is presenters didn't take the role of host.
Right.
And so he just did it, boom, boom, boom.
What are the rules now on the acceptance speeches?
Yes.
Like,
be
I'm not
offended.
trying to get anybody else to stay.
It's always kind of weird. It seems
It's
like
a
if you
shot
are
clock.
winning for, say, Best Actor or Actress, they give you a few minutes longer, or
Yeah.
Best Picture. But guaranteed, you're going up and you're getting for the Best Band-Aid assignment.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you very much. Na, na, na.
I think if you make
Yeah.
8-digit salary, you get 2 minutes.
Yeah.
That just kind of goes
Yeah.
down from there.
If you're Tom Hanks, you can be up there for an hour.
Right.
They have a shot clock.
Right.
Hey everybody,
Right.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. It's 9 o'clock, so it's been a 2-hour program at the moment.
Wow.
We are gonna, for those that want to stay a little bit longer, we will show the Queen of Basketball, which we'll do now. But before we do that, me and Greg would just like to say.
And I can't deny the fact that you like me. Right now, you like me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we like you.